Miracles in disguise. That's what we're going to be talking about.
Okay.
And I can definitely relate to that because I feel like I've been living that my whole life.
Hmm.
Um, Especially when things are difficult or negative, and um, I've always looked and gone within, and then things have just turned out miraculously. I guess it's because also redirection is protection, and we have to remember that. um, I've spent a lot of time being sick and having illness, and so that's definitely a time of surrender.
Yeah, me too.
How about yourself for miracles and that? Have you gone through when things have been really difficult? Have you how have you gone through that?
Yeah, I mean, it's the difficult situations that come up for me that have allowed me to have a much greater awakening in my life. If I allow it, sometimes I've gone through really difficult situations and I've resisted them and pushed away the feelings of the difficult feelings, only for them to come back later in my life at some point, and sometimes even worse. So I've learned over the process of my life uh, to embrace those difficult feelings and to embrace those difficult situations because uh, I've learned my higher self is always in control and it's always bringing up something for me to embrace, something for me to heal. So learning that everything is perfect in my life has been a huge lesson for me to master the art of embracing all of the feelings. There's
Mhm.
nothing that comes up that I can say, oh, I don't like this. I'm going to push it away anymore. I mean, that's kind of an old pattern that I
Mhm.
used to do that's starting to fade into the distance. And the new pattern
Mhm.
is, oh, this is coming up. I'm going to lose everything. Ha ha! Woo! What does this mean?
Mhm.
Like the one instance that I told you about
Right.
where I
Can you talk?
believed I wanted this, I went through a scam and I believed I lacked something and I wanted something so much. So I lost a lot of money, huge amount of money.
Mhm.
And that was actually something that brought a healing to that part of me that thought it was in lack, that thought it needed something else. So I was like, wow. I mean, yes, I felt like, oh crap, I felt all this loss and I felt all this pain and hurt. But I actually went back to the one that did the scam on me and I said, thank you, because they were
Mhm.
playing a role. They were playing a role that I called to myself. They were playing that role. And the fact that I could see it differently now, that I could see that this is something I called, that I brought into my own realm. I did this. Nobody did it to me. Okay. I opened up and I did this to myself so that I could learn I don't need anything from anyone else. Okay.
Mhm.
And so I was actually very thankful to that one, to the person that did the scam on me. And I said as much. And then, like I told you, they tried to get me to join their outfit and scam others. No, no, no. That's not what I
That's not
meant.
how it works.
Yeah, no. I don't want to join in that
No.
energy. I just am simply thankful that you were the one, or that you were actually played the role that brought me
Mhm.
a deeper sense of healing. Now, I could have pushed it away, and the old pattern was to push it away, but I had been learning to heal everything that had been coming up in my life. Everything that's coming up, I'm like, okay, I can see this differently. I can heal it. I can be with it. I can embrace it. So this big thing came up. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, the knee-jerk reaction was to say, oh, this is a horrible thing, and to resist.
Mhm.
but that never works. So after I had learned the process of healing and gotten good at it, and healing just simply means to allow things to come up and embrace them by giving them our attention. It's very simple, but it seems so difficult that this big thing that came up is like, okay, I can actually do this now. I'm ready. And I did.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for every action, there's a reaction too. So it depends on our reaction to
Well,
the
yeah, I
situation.
mean, okay.
Oh,
It's training. It's training. It's training. You know, it's like instead of reacting, it's training ourselves to really just be with it. Instead of like the old pattern is to kind of have a knee-jerk reaction to everything, and that's where trigger comes from. So whenever we practice this, then we less and less get triggered, less and less react, but we see that this is something coming up. We are aware, we are now awake and alert. So now we can approach it with consciousness, with awareness. And then you don't just have the sleepy old patterns of, oh, something's coming up that's painful, boom, reject it. Those patterns go away. There's no more reacting. Now it's a conscious thought delivery process of healing it, accepting it, and realizing it's not coming from outside of me. There's nothing to reject here. This is such a beautiful thing. Thank you. And being very thankful for each one of those things that come up. The bigger it is, the more that we're healing. So
opportunity for healing.
oh, yes.
Yeah. So how did you, just out of curiosity, how did you deal with your anger around that situation? Did you just feel it and then and just let it go, or I mean, what did you do with that emotion?
Actually, at that point, the anger wasn't even something that was an issue for me at that point. At that point, I was feeling this dread of loss and smallness, like I was a victim. And I was like, oh, well, this is perfect. I'm not a victim. So there's a part of me that felt like I was a victim still. So here comes this feeling. And I just felt helpless and hopeless for a while. And I was like, oh, here comes the feelings. These feelings are perfect. I'm glad that I can now, I now have the experience of healing the feelings now, so I can just be with those feelings and heal them. But anger really wasn't even an issue at that point in my life because I had already healed anger at a very deep level. I'm not saying that, I've healed all of my anger, but I am saying that I've spent years doing a healing on anger. So that was like way down. That was like not an issue for me so much at all. If it was an issue, then I might not have been able to deal with the other issue, which was the feeling of loss. So the Holy Spirit is amazing in that it knows exactly what to bring up. We don't even have to think about it. We just kind of like stumble along in our life. We think we're stumbling along, but we're always being guided and directed by this higher power. If we just allow it, if we can just allow it and trust it,
we have to trust it. Yeah, we have to trust.
Yes.
Yeah. We have to trust it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only way to heal it, is to trust there's something going on here. I don't know what it is, but a part of me that knows, I'm going to trust that, our higher self, God. There's a lot of words, source, the Father, the Mother. It's where we came from, and it is our higher intelligence if we can allow it to come through us. And that's what this is all about, relaxing into that trust, letting go of that tension, of that fear, and allowing ourselves to relax into the reality of love once again.
It does take a great deal of inner work to get to that state of consciousness. It really does.
Yeah, it's just like exercising or learning to play a violin or an instrument. You just keep practicing it. And then, just like playing an instrument, if somebody's learned to play an instrument, there comes this point where it almost becomes effortless, you know? And that's the same way it is with healing. Okay. You're
and that's where the miracle is in disguise. It's right in between, in the middle there. It's like it's between those spaces of the healing too. That's where the miracles can start beginning.
Yes. Miracles begin every time that we make a choice for love. That's a miracle.
Yeah.
And it shortens the need for time. Miracles shorten the need for experience in this world because we realize it's an illusion, because we can embrace it with love. And when we embrace it, it totally sheds the light on it. So the darkness and the shadow dissipate completely. And yeah, it does take time, but that's the
and we're not pushing away the shadow parts of ourselves either. We have to fully embrace and feel all of our feelings all the time.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that takes practice, doing it over and over to master it. And this is the way to master it, by healing the little stuff every day, the little stuff that comes up. And then you'll notice, though, when you do that, just keep feeling the feelings. Oh, here's something uncomfortable. Somebody did this or somebody did that to me.
Or have a really bad headache.
Or you have it. Or yeah. Or if the body feels pain and suffering, if the body
feels the pain body, as Eckhart calls it, is very true.
It's the same exact thing. Those are energies that are uncomfortable energies that we have caused on the body that can be healed in the same exact fashion. So sickness and disease, bodily disease, can be dealt with.
Dis-ease.
Right. Can be dealt with. It can be re-practiced and dealt with in the same healing fashion that we practice things that are thoughts, uncomfortable feelings. Same thing. Because those feelings, if they are pushed away, then they cause this contraction, and that's what causes body pain. So body pain is our body saying, hey, there's something here that you've contracted so much that it's now causing your body to react in a way that's painful. So that needs to be embraced. And that's really the best way to heal a body. I have a hip that I didn't get replaced 4 years ago. And so, it works the same way with the body. I mean, that's kind of a different subject, but it works the same way, So just by practicing it over and over, becoming is what becomes a master. What helps you to become a master of this world, to become an overcomer, a master of the world. The world energy is this shadow energy. And to master that is to realize it has no effect on you anymore, that the world is completely innocent. Whoa, yeah, it's true. The world is innocent, cannot do any harm to you. Nothing. That's the truth. That's the truth that you come to when you start practicing the healing and realizing these energies can't hurt you. They can only awaken you if you choose again. But when we contract and think, oh no, there's something there that can hurt us, we're only giving it energy and making it worse. That's all.
Giving it energy. Yeah.
That's why all of the conspiracy theories around the world should just be ignored. Okay? Because if they cause people to fear or think there's something out there that can get them, then they're only giving that idea energy. They're giving it power. They're giving their own power to that idea. So training the mind in small ways on a daily basis is what sets us free. And the big stuff comes up like, we know how to do this now.